sucks. Test, test, test. Okay, let's see what happens with this. Okay, you look great, but the audio is foobar. Nice boot, though. Okay, well,
sad.
Let's see if we've got it working now. So let's see if...
Let us know right now.
Man, I can't believe this is so difficult.
I know. You're supposed to just click and go, right?
Sure. I don't know, maybe I need to get a new something. New microphone. Better!
Yay.
Hey!
Thanks, James.
Okay, well, you just got to listen to 2.5 minutes of us sounding like chipmunks, so that I apologize profusely. So we were talking about your shoes.
Yeah.
Your shoes are okay.
Thanks,
perfect.
Breathe.
Breathe. One of these months we'll get it, I swear. So we got her those shoes, and
Yes.
I specifically got them, hoping we can go out and do something, and unfortunately we are at home.
Yeah,
So, but that's okay. We can talk about lifestyle and
I wore the shoes out today, though, and people actually took pictures of me in them.
Yeah, we went to Pike Place Market, walked around for a little bit, and there were numerous people commenting, as that place is kind of depressing right now because there's just nobody there, but it's good. Joe says he loves, or his wife loves your outfit and necklace. Yeah, that's very sexy. It's very sexy. So, yeah, and if you don't know how this goes, what we do is we talk about the lifestyle. And we answer any questions that you have as far as swinging open relationships, Club Sapphire in Seattle, anything like that. So, feel free to ask us anything in the conversations, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Yes.
So that's, it was funny. So this week, what was our exciting news?
Oh, we got a cat.
Yeah, we got a cat.
We got a kitten.
We got a kitten, and
she's so cute.
And we posted on our lifestyle Facebook page, what recommendations for names, because we wanted to have a little bit of innuendo if we could, and there's something maybe lifestyle, and people were like, oh, name it Pineapple, and name it Threesome and Byway, and just like all these different things. It's like, well, I think that would be super awkward at the vet. To say, oh, what was it? Because someone mentioned orgy. Someone had mentioned orgy, and we're like, well, I guess if we pronounce it orgy, so
like
it sounds
a little
like
French.
She's classy. Well, I think that's an alcohol ingredient. So orgy. So
orgy.
Yeah.
We were talking about orgy.
So yeah, that would have worked, but
for sure.
And then so this kind of came up in conversation, and somehow our teenage son saw that.
Well, because we were talking about it in the car about naming it orgy. No, they had talked about naming it something like Orgy Clamato. He likes Clamato. So we were talking about naming it that, and our son was in the car. And then he goes, can I ask you guys a question?
And like right after we had been joking about orgy being the name of this cat, he's like, can I ask you guys a question? And he starts talking. I said, let me interrupt you for a second there. Just letting you know that your parents are not going to lie to you. They're going to be honest with you, and just be prepared for any answer that you might get.
You have to live with knowing that answer.
So what was your question? And he goes, have you guys ever like had an orgy or something like that? And I looked at him and I said, yes. And his eyes got all wide, and he's like, I didn't expect that answer. It's like, there were no follow-up questions. There were no follow-up. I said, I knew where you're going at. Just be aware that it could be awkward if you hear the answer to that question.
There was a little tiny bit of awkward silence, and then it went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just changed the subject and moved on from there. But now he knows.
Sure. So, but yeah, feel free to ask us any questions about the lifestyle. These are fun because people tend to we get a lot of the same questions over and over again. As far as how to talk to your spouse about things, or how to be successful as a single guy. And it's funny. Usually, as we do these videos throughout the year, whether it's a live one or we do one for Club Sapphire's website, there's always a lot of new material, because we generally, stuff happens to us.
Right.
We go to a club, or we meet a couple, or we meet whoever, and things might happen or not happen, or we hear some odd story about something that someone did, but boy, it's been pretty
dry.
quiet. It's been dry around here. Yeah, don't really know too much of just stuff happening. So, but it is interesting because there, so did you hear that So there was there was one event that happened in Louisiana that is usually one of the largest events in the entire country. And this year, obviously, it couldn't be, but they still put it on, and it's usually in July, and they moved it to November. And unfortunately, 250 people went, and it became a big. A lot of people, unfortunately, got the virus that way. So, which is unfortunate, but that's sometimes lifestyle people they just want to see other people.
Yes. Well, and we've always had a problem with lifestyle events that have like the masked nights. Usually the mask is up here, not down here. But we're always like, we want to see the people we're talking to. So we I've always thought about getting one of those masks on a stick that I can be like mysterious if I want to, and then take it away when I don't want to be mysterious. But I can't imagine going to an event with a mask from here down. It's like, how do you kiss or what? I mean, I guess you don't. I guess you just talk or.
Well, that is definitely interesting as far as, not that there's, like I said, there's been very few events, obviously, throughout the world because of what's going on. But people are just, lifestyle people generally are very, very huggy kissy. And, when we see people, in a normal year, when we see people, we kiss them. If they're friends of ours, it's, it might just be a peck on the mouth or a cheek or whatever type of thing. But that's just, just what we do.
I know it'll be weird going back to it, to the normal side of everything. And will it be weird kissing people again, or will we all be just making out with each other because we've missed it so much? I'm curious to see how, what it's going to be like, if there will be a lot of cautious trepidation, or will it be full on orgy in the middle of the parking lot?
If you had asked me that question 6 months ago, I would have been like, oh, the second they just open the doors, people are just going to be. But I think honestly that it's going to be a kind of a slow process back. And some people are going to be nervous, and some people are still going to, wait 6 months, a year, or 2 years, who the heck knows, before they start to kind of get back into the swing of things. And thank you. So it's I don't think that's the case, but I do know a lot of people that are are comfortable or have and they would be just jumping at the bit to just or chomping at the bit to just kind of go back into it all.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see
what
happens.
And I don't even know where I'm at with all of that. I haven't figured it out yet. For me, it's a day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute.
Sure.
If there was an event right now, it would be okay, I have to decide today could be totally different than tomorrow as far as whether I'm comfortable and all that. So I don't know, but when things finally open up, that'll be a different world then. So I'm sure I'll feel a lot more comfortable. Yeah. But
we'll just kind of wait and see.
Yeah.
But we are kind of looking as
But I'm missing it.
Yeah, and we have kind of. We don't really have obviously a date or anything like that. But a countdown. Oh, and we did the name of the cat.
Oh.
We
didn't. We totally skipped over that part. We didn't name her Orgy or Orge.
We did name her Sapphire, though.
We did name her Sapphire.
Yeah,
because we missed the club so much.
Yeah, and she's.
We're not kissing their ass. We just missed the club. But what's funny is our kids are like, "Oh my gosh, yes, that's such a great name. Let's totally name her Sapphire." And
she's
classy.
She's a Russian blue cat.
Yeah.
So there's blue. There's blue. Sure. But
we all agreed.
Anyway, back when I was talking about this, it's just there's this kind of countdown happening, of getting to spring, summer, whenever the club will open again.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't have a date at this point, but every time we do one of these, we're just kind of we're counting down. We're counting down. It's
we're counting down to eventually.
Okay, so again, feel free to ask us questions. It does look like we got a question from Lewis. Lewis says, I have a new girlfriend I'm introducing to the lifestyle.
Nice.
I am a 25-plus year veteran. Nice.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. We're catching up to you. She's getting more open, but what might you suggest to help her become more comfortable in playing? So,
without really knowing what you guys have done, I would say a lot of watching. Have you guys with everything? Thank you, Lewis. With everything going on, have you guys done anything? I would say, first off, watch a lot of porn together. Get her comfortable with other people in the room. And then, as soon as you can, possibly going to like the club or a club and just playing the two of you in a room together. The baby steps, and with the sounds of everybody else around her, and let her see how that goes. And then, maybe try a soft swap. I mean, we started with a soft swap. So I went down on the guy and he went down on the woman. And then they left the room and we were like high-fiving each other. But we also we have conversations after, not so much as much anymore. I mean, we still talk, but we have conversations after every single encounter to discuss what we liked, what we didn't like. Would we be able to move forward with something different? Are we more comfortable staying where we're at? Do we need to move backwards? So it's important to have those open dialogues consistently and constantly.
Yeah.
To field where you're feeling, and trust me, she could feel different every single time. So have those conversations before you go to an event of what are your expectations, what are your hopes and goals and feelings for that night, and stick with it. And promise her that you're going to stick with it. And don't get distracted by shiny boobs over there.
Shiny.
I mean, those I wear shiny pasties sometimes.
Those are the best types of boobs, the shiny ones. Well, now Lois does say that they've been playing at home and she likes porn.
Okay.
So now kind of pay attention. My opinion is, pay attention to what types of porn. What specific things that she seems to really like better than others. Are some of those things going to be she's appeasing you? For example, if she has no interest in other women and, you have, all you do when you watch together is a guy getting just, just a doggy pile of puppy pile of 15 women on top of him, and she's, yawning while she's watching that. That's not something to focus on. But if there are things that she sees that she really likes.
I wonder if, Lewis, you've been in this for 25 years, is there a possibility that you've kind of done everything that you're interested in, that maybe focusing on her for a while? Like, is she interested in an FM threesome with two guys? Are you okay with that? Is she interested in a gangbang? Can you set that up for her? Like, is there something special that you can set up for her that is her fantasy? And just talk to her about her fantasies. Talk to her about what kind of porn she likes. Talk about, that's a great, asking a person what kind of porn they watch is a great way to learn about what they like. If hopefully they're comfortable enough to talk to you about what kind of porn they like. I think the first time we talked about like what kind of porn I like was at the club, and it was someone else that asked me, and you were like, "This is fascinating. I never knew this."
Like it had never come up in conversation.
We never really talked about it.
Yeah,
but someone else had, because you didn't ask me, and someone else had asked me, and so I'm always open and honest, and I talked about it, and so yeah, finding out what kind of porn this person watches can help uncover what they might be interested in trying within the lifestyle,
and what they might be interested in first. Anyway, if it's something that's if it's something fairly mild, like if it's I say vanilla porn, where it's a man and a woman doing one's a plumber and the other one is the sexy customer, or what the normal porn thing. Then if that's what she's into, then or that's what works, then it's just a fairly normal start to the lifestyle where
And he says that she was interested in the third one, but when she was totally against it. She may not be totally against it. I'm telling you, women can change their mind on a dime. Like, if I could tell you all day long that I want a gangbang, but the minute you set one up, I might be like, no, I'm too intimidated. I'm too scared. I don't feel pretty that day. Like, trust me, you can be getting ready for the club and she is in tears because she has nothing to wear, even though she has a closet full of clothes and shoes and gorgeous lingerie. So just be caring and kind and give her hugs and lots of compliments, because this can be an intimidating lifestyle for some women who aren't used to dressing very sensual or sexy or wearing a lot less clothing. It can be intimidating until you get used to it. It can be weird because we're so told, put more clothes on, don't show your ankles, that kind of stuff. And then when you're being told, no, it's okay, you can do this, it's kind of a mind fuck for women, I think. And so being really caring and open with her and lots of compliments, and that can go a long way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be aware that you might say, okay, tonight we're going to go to the club and we're going to do this. And it's okay for her to change her mind when she gets there because she may not feel comfortable all of a sudden. Maybe it's the vibe at the club. Maybe just she got there and she felt really intimidated.
Yeah.
You know, so just keep those lines of communication open.
Right. And what we honestly tell anybody, whether you've been doing it for 25 years or you're brand new as a couple that's never done anything at all, is usually we say early on the best thing that you can do is put yourself in that situation, however, back off from it. Like, you know, for example, go to the club, but tonight we're going to go to the club just to be around the sexy atmosphere. We just want to be around other people. We just want to maybe have some conversations, but that's all we're going to do. And then you and I are going to go into the back room, and if we feel comfortable enough, we will have sex with each other while we hear other people around doing other things, and we'll have a curtain so that no one can see us, or we'll just be, you know, for example, like Club Sapphire has like these balconies in some of the rooms where you could be up above the room that has, you know, numerous mattresses together, and that you can see down but people can't see up, and so you're still surrounded by that sexy vibe. You're hearing all the things, the
live porn.
Yeah. You can peek down and see what's going on as much or as little as you want to, and then that in itself, usually I see people after that time that they do that, specifically women, that are like, wow, that was awesome. I mean, of course, the guys love it. That's an easy one. But the women were like, wow, that was sexy, and we had so much fun, and everybody was so fun to talk to, and all that. And then you just talk. After that point, you just talk about it a lot, and then, you know, you might take baby steps forward. But that's the big one. That's the step that is people. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with people at the club or online or whatever it might be that said, you know, we thought about it for months or even years, and then we went to the club, but we actually stayed in the car outside. We were too chicken to come in. And so we sat out in the car for a half hour, and then we turned around and went home. And it's like I can appreciate that. That's you know, you're nervous. You think just, you know, you don't know what's going to happen in there. I mean, no matter how many of these we show that we're like, people aren't just, you know, on you, and people aren't creepy, and people aren't, you know.
Another thought too, Louis, I don't know if you're in the area and if you go to Club Sapphire or not, but bring her to a 101 class. Bring her to the orientation, and let her get a feel for the club. You get, with the orientation, you get a nice tour of the club. You get a great video that they do before you go into the club, and that can be a nice way to get like a soft introduction to the club. But if you go on a 101 night where you get to hear veterans talk about the lifestyle and what the lingo is, and even though you know everything, you know, you've been doing this a long time, she doesn't. And she might need to hear it from someone else, that you've told her XYZ. Well, now these people who are in charge of this 101 class are talking about XYZ as well. And she's like, oh, okay, so you weren't just shitting me. You weren't just trying to get me here, you know. Trapeze, they might have 101 classes. So yeah, I would look into doing, you know, some 101 classes with her, and just figuring out, letting her dip her toes in, so to say. It's better to move slowly and enjoy the process and not have someone get skittish and scared off and want to quit altogether than to run in super fast and jump in head first and then have your partner be like, fuck, no way, this was not for me. You know, it's better to start small. Baby steps. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so right at this moment, make sure everybody right now, click on the like button. Click the little thumb button right now, so that will actually tell other people, hey, this really awesome show is going on, and that'll show up more in feeds and that type of thing, so more people come in and join us. Okay, so M Parent says, was at the grocery store and saw lots of couples with pineapples. Hope that pineapples were not on sale.
Actually, they have been.
That's a good point.
Apparently, it's a Christmas thing. Like, you keep seeing pineapples on sale, like 2 for $1.
Is it like high season for pineapples?
I don't know what it is. I don't eat pineapple and I don't buy pineapple, but I do know it must be, like, you even commented when you went to the
a couple weeks ago I saw them. They were like $1.50. Yeah, I was like, I've never seen them that cheap.
I don't know if it's like seasonal or if it's a Christmas thing. I have no idea. Or maybe they just caught wind of all of us.
Well, I think I saw something on Facebook where someone shared like an old recipe where they actually used like pineapple in like a dessert for
Like
like
pineapple
Christmas
upside down
parties or
cake?
something like. Oh no, that's gross. No, like it was, you know, that's pineapples and they put it in some sort of, yeah, I don't know, some dessert, some dessert. Yeah, I know you don't like
My
pineapple.
mom would make pineapple upside down cake, and I was always like, ugh, no, not my thing.
Yeah, so I don't know if they were on sale, or if
I
know they're on sale, but
I mean, did you ask anyone?
That's right.
Were you like, hey?
Anybody who's got a pineapple in their cart, just hit on them.
We have. So apparently, another thing is white rocks in front of the house, and we have a couple of. So we have one neighbor that has pineapples on their mailbox, and another neighbor that has white rocks in their yard, and Matt is just like obsessed.
Well, it's funny because you know those are
old,
like swinger stereotypes, like you know.
That maybe the previous owner.
No, from decades ago, and it's funny because I'll still see that show up. Like for example, I was in a group on Facebook, totally vanilla group, and it was specifically about mid-century homes. And someone out of nowhere mentioned pineapples. Like they're like, "Oh, I love using decor, like pineapples in decor." And someone goes, "Did you hear that is like a secret swinger thing?" And then suddenly this conversation blew up, and there were hundreds of people in there, and quite a few people knew that. They're like, "Oh yeah, no, if you buy pineapples, that means that you're, or if you have pineapples in your front yard or in your decor or anything like that, and that means that you are a swinger." It's like, okay, or you like pineapples.
Or you like pineapples. And pineapples are so in right now that it's like, you know.
But it came up, like I saw people like using just these weird like clues that aren't real. There's nothing to them, but they've just kind of been these old wives' tales over the decades. Like specifically that, if you have white rocks in your gardening or like that, or in your front of your house, it's like, oh yeah, those are lifestyle people.
My parents totally had white rocks in their yard for a while. I remember them vividly, and they weren't. I'm pretty positive my parents were not swingers.
No,
so
no, that would be, and I don't really want to think about that. No offense. No,
I'm good.
Yeah, but
I won't ever ask my parents if they've been in an orgy.
Okay, good. Yeah, right. Because you don't want to know the answer.
I don't want to know the answer. Actually, no, I'm kind of curious now. Your mom probably has.
Not cool. Come on. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that. That's awesome.
Love you, baby.
What was it? Oh, someone was just talking about. Speaking. I mean, this is all these Christmas things. So the movie The Grinch that came out, now like
with
18 years ago.
One?
Jim Carrey.
Was that really 18 years ago?
Yeah, 2000, probably 2001. No, maybe 2000, I think. Yeah. Anyway, got 20 years left.
Right?
There is a scene that the Who's are at a Christmas party. And at one point, you can actually see them dropping their keys into a bowl.
No way.
The Who's are freaks.
I always knew it.
You did.
They're so cheerful. They're so cheerful.
They love Christmas. But yeah, no, if you haven't watched that movie in a while, it's just one of those like 2-second things where they just show it. And it's just at this big party, and you just see them dropping their keys in a bowl, and it's like, okay.
It's probably because they don't want to drink.
That's the argument. That's the argument that I think when I first saw that, I was like, oh, it's just a not a drinking and driving thing. Like they're going to be just all, which is an argument of like, why? At least, you could say, well, there's a reason. There's a very vanilla reason why they would have keys in a bowl. So that's.
But the person who drew that part, they were in the know. They knew.
Yeah, right. That's my thing.
We're gonna draw this scene, this tiny little scene where they're dropping keys, and the boss was like, "Why would they do that?" And the guy was like, "Drinking and driving," but really he was like, "Key party." Key party. Who's would totally have a key party?
Mm-hmm. But everybody's like, oh yeah, pineapple whip is a thing, like a smoothie.
That Dole pineapple, from
Disneyland. Yeah, those things are amazing. Oh, those are amazing.
I've never had it.
Good. Pineapple upside down cheesecake in the fridge. That sounds amazing too. I feel like I love pineapple. I'm a big pineapple fan. But I feel like I had pineapple upside down cake decades ago, and I remember not liking it. Like it was very soggy.
Yeah, I remember not liking it either.
You don't like anything pineapple.
But no, it is soggy because you put the pineapples in.
Because it's a liquid.
And then you flip it upside down, and then the pineapples are now on top. And then I think you put cherries on it. Mm-hmm. And I just remember it being a very soggy thing. I don't know. And maybe it's caramelized too, like on the top. So the top might be crispy like a creme brulee.
But see, now a cheesecake? I'd be all over that.
But it's flavored with pineapple, so.
Yep. Yeah, but cheesecake's amazing. Oh, okay. I think man, you
Maybe
never make those
you
things
should.
for me.
No, I don't. You can make it.
So what were some of the other like other ways that you could hints that someone's a lifestyle person that was in the yard? I feel like there was also something about like reeds like palapis. I can't think. No, they're like
plants.
It's like those plants that are like really stringy that you have in your front yard. I mean, just a really common plant, and it's like.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, so. If you make it right, it's not soggy. Okay.
Apparently, our parents know how to make it. It was always soggy. My mom talks about making pineapple upside down cake like often. She's like, "Oh, I should make that," and I'm like, I mean, we don't live in the same state, so I'm like, you do you, Mom. But I'm always just like.
So next time she comes to town, if I ask her to make one, she'll make one?
She'll totally make you one. She makes me Rice Krispie treats. She'll make you that.
Okay.
I love Rice Krispie treats.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Just ask her. She'd love to do that for you.
So,
but I can't guarantee you that it's not going to be soggy. Black rings.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard that, I know we shouldn't be giving the secret out. Nah, it's not true. So black rings on the right hand are the secret sign for swinging.
He's actually chased someone down for it. I mean, not really, but sort of. Like, it's funnier to say.
Okay, so backing up 7-8 years. So we were actually in the original conversation where like a handful of us were online on Cassidy.com, which is one of the lifestyle websites, and we were just talking about because when we first got a lifestyle, that was the thing. It was like there were these jokes about upside down pineapple. Oh no, it was before that. It wasn't even that. It was like, how do you know when there's someone that's in public that you can tell?
I remember there was a conversation about like someone was trying to like get it started where if you were talking to another couple or another person, you could ask them, hey, do you know Ellis?
Oh,
like LS.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then that would be like LS is the code. Ellis is the code.
Ellis, short for lifestyle.
Yeah, and I was talking about naming our cat Ellis too.
And yeah, I remember that we were on a cruise and they started like a big event. They had a big event there. This was in
that's right.
mid 2012, and it was we're trying to get this thing started.
Yeah.
But it was like it was. I remember going to that going. It's just not that good of an idea because unless you've heard of that,
right?
Even if you've been in lifestyle for 20 years, and are you just going up randomly? People, do you know Ellis? Do you know Ellis? I mean, that's just not very realistic at all.
Hot. Let's ask them if they know Ellis.
Yeah, it's like that's a weird converation starter. Like, how do you respond to that if they say no?
Right.
Like, sorry, you go to my kid's school. But and then so this has been a problem for decades or a long time. The lifestyle people have been trying to figure this out. So we were in a conversation 7 years ago or so on Cassidy, and we were talking about this, and someone had brought that up, and we just kind of all a few people had like kind of moved it to like, well, what if we just put them on the right hand? So it's not a wedding ring because a lot of people wear them obviously people wear them on their left, wedding rings on their left hand. So okay, what if you had a black ring on the right hand? And someone had come up with that idea, and like a few other people were like, yeah, that's great, and it took off. I mean, we did a video on that, years ago, and a blog post and all that, and then of course so did other people that were talking about the lifestyle.
Well, we used to bring black rings on cruises and hand them out for free.
That's right. We'd buy like boxes of them from China, and then just like be like, hey, you want to because they were 8 cents or something like that.
That was how we got people to come up and talk to us.
That's right. That's totally right. I remember that. I would like put in the bulletin boards beforehand, like 'cause for the big cruises and things, people generally talk beforehand. They're like, hey, we're going to be there. Here's our room number, all that kind of stuff. Let's get together. And I remember putting on the board, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to have like black rings. We're just going to give them away.
That was our flirting.
Come and find us. Come and find us, and I'll have like a big old bag on me. Mm-hmm. And I did. And people were like, oh, I heard that you have a black ring. So I'm like, here you go. By the way, I'm that.
Yeah.
Your wife's hot. Yeah. Oh yeah. We should do that again. It's been a while. But yeah, no, that took off, and it works pretty well. Now that's not having said we don't have them on, but we also aren't going anywhere either.
That's true.
Even if we saw a hot couple at the grocery store, we would know what they look like. So
that's true. They're hot from here up. You've got beautiful eyes.
Yeah, but I can't tell the rest of you. So, but yeah, no, it's amazing how that's taken off, and I see people all the time, and when we're at the clubs and all over the country. It is funny because we were actually on a cruise a few years later, And we met a German couple, actually from Germany that came on this cruise, and the conversation came up about the black rings, and I said, well, what do you think about those? He says, oh, I hate that. We all hate that. That's a terrible idea. And I'm like, well, why is that? He's like, well, because in Germany, married couples wear their rings on their right hand, not their left hand. So they're like, well, what are we supposed to do about that? And I said, well, you can wear it on your left hand then. And the guy's like, oh yeah, okay, all right. Like that. But yeah. So, but it is kind of cool, and of course, but we have seen even early on we saw people with black rings, and you had mentioned I chased somebody down, but I think that was probably the first couple of months.
It was very early on.
Yeah, that
and
it was thing.
We were in a big area with a lot of people, and it was. I saw someone. We were at a fair, and they were on the bumper cars, and I was like, that guy has a black ring on his right finger, and you were like, what? And then when he got off, you followed him around, probably to see if the wife had one too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say that so you don't sound so creepy.
That's right. I just follow dudes around at the fair.
Follow guys around at the fair.
Yeah, but there, because that's a good point. It's like, okay, it's one thing if one person is wearing a black ring,
right?
But if they both the husband and wife, that's actually pretty.
It's a good, if they both got black rings on the finger, then they might.
They could be.
Ask them if they know Ellis.
Don't do that. It never took off. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's and it is funny. So we actually, and backing up a little bit because I did see Lewis said that he really appreciated your Instagram posts that you've been doing a lot lately. So yeah, if you want to follow her on Instagram, it's Bianca Boom, ITS Bianca Boom. .com. I was going to say .com, but that's not right. It's Bianca Boom. It's on Instagram, and then for other people that have asked, because every time we do this, somebody asks about if you have an OnlyFans page, and yes, she does. And it's new, but it's very good. And that's Bianca Boom. OnlyFans.com, /Bianca Boom.
There might be naked pictures of me on there.
What? And you're doing things.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so Nicole says. Wife is very sexy. Doesn't realize she is always one of the sexiest women at the parties, though I tell her all the time that she is. How do I help her not be as intimidated by the other women?
Ooh.
Well, what do you think? I'm looking at you. Absolutely. You've run into this before.
Yeah,
many times.
That's a hard one. I think so. I have started to make when I go to a party or the club or whatever, I've started to make almost the entire day, or at least a good portion of the day, like an event. Mm-hmm. There are times where I'll go out and buy a new outfit or lingerie or whatever for the theme of the night, if there is one. And that makes you feel really sexy. Or maybe going to get a massage before, or a facial, or your nails done, or something, for me, oftentimes, I start getting ready a couple hours before, just so that I have a glass of wine, and I'll take my time, take a nice shower, long shower, really take my time doing my hair and my makeup, things that, and music is huge for me. I love music, so I listen to sensual music, what that means to me at the moment, because I can change on a dime. So I'll listen to whatever is making me feel sensual and sexy, and I'll listen to that on the way to the club. For me, if I walk out of the room and his jaw drops and he's like, wow, you look amazing, that does huge things for my ego. If he doesn't say anything, then I'm like, well, shit, this outfit does not work. So give him big compliments. That's huge.
Okay.
Even though I'm not necessarily a compliments person.
No, you're not.
But if he doesn't compliment me, I'm like, okay, this outfit might not be working. Even though he might be thinking in his head, man, she looks really great. The compliments, they help. Mm-hmm. And then,
and what does that do when I compliment you?
It gives me more confidence that, okay, this outfit, even if nobody else in the club like my outfit or think I look sexy or whatever, at least you do, and you're the most important person to me there.
Okay.
So that's, at least there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think for me it's like all in the prep work.
Okay.
That helps you to feel sexy before you even get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get there, just, don't ignore your person. Yes, you're there to possibly, hopefully, maybe have sex with other people, but this person here is the most important person in the room, right? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, they're coming home with you, and hopefully they're going to fuck you too. And so, make them feel like they're still important. And even though there are hundreds of people in the room, you want them to feel like they are the most beautiful person in the room to you. So the touching is, keeping a hand on that person and whispering, "Wow, you look so fucking sexy." That kind of stuff. It's important. And I think that helps.
Now, as from a guy's perspective, I would say that women shouldn't necessarily, I know this is easier said than done, but women shouldn't necessarily be intimidated by other women unless your goal is to have sex with that woman. Does that matter? If you come up to us and you see us at the club and you think, "Oh my God, Bianca's the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen," there's no way that Matt would have sex with me. Like, that's not necessarily true, right? But because it's me in that situation, that would be the goal. Mm-hmm. However, if you were trying to seduce Bianca, and you think
but you have to have your confidence up in order to feel sexy to seduce somebody. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm feeling down because I'm feeling intimidated by all the other outfits in the room or whatever, then I'm gonna shy away from wanting to even talk to you probably.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so we're at the club, all right, and you see this couple, and you think the guy's hot, and you've talked to him or whatever, you hear his personality's amazing, all that kind of stuff. He's super hot. His wife, you look at, and she's jaw-dropping gorgeous. Mm-hmm. So are you going to not bother talking to him?
I might not.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I might feel like I'm out of their league, or they're out of my league. See, and that's something that happens all the time. That out of your league thing. And I'm almost embarrassed to say that I can feel that. Because I've had people tell me that.
Right.
People that I felt. So we had this couple that we used to play with all the time. The first time we met them, I literally was like, they're so out of our league. We would never be able to play with them ever. They would never be interested. You know what thought they had in their head when they met us? Matt and Bianca are so out of our league. We would never get to play with them. They're so, and it's like, and
it took
stupid.
3 times hanging out before.
It's so dumb because you're all there for the same reason, right? And why have those negative feelings in your head? Because you could miss out on so much. And that if you could just get it into your brain that we're all there for the same reason.
And it's not necessarily, yeah, go ahead.
And everybody's got different tastes, different, whatever. That, if you could just at least start a conversation with that person that you're interested in.
And I think one thing that's important to realize is that people in the lifestyle aren't necessarily, my goal isn't to find someone for the night who is sexier than her.
Right.
That's not my goal. My goal is to find someone who's sexy from my perspective. And not even that, someone who's not her.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And so it could be someone who has a totally different look and body and attitude and age and shape and all the different things because it's not her. But for whatever reason, there's a million reasons why I'm attracted to that individual person.
Absolutely. Because there have even been times when we've both done this to each other, really?
Yeah.
Really? And you went there, and it's happened to both of us where you said that to me and I've said that to you, and it's it's someone different for whatever reason they showed interest or whatever it was, you had a conversation or they said something or whatever it was. And that's this is a hobby, right? You're not looking for the one, so you can chill out and relax and have fun because it's not like this is for life.
Right.
You're not, whoever you're with that night is not for life. You're not trying to have children with them and be married for 50 years or anything like that. You've done that. You did the hard work.
This is
just
stuff.
fun. This is just a hobby. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So be more willing to talk to people because, they say it in regular dating. The other words I could say is no. And that's really true.
You know what happens when they say no? You still got the other one. Like, it's like, okay, well, I've still got like...
Yeah, still got my spouse.
I know that we have great sex. Like, we have a great sex life.
Thank you.
So if someone were to say no to me and be like, well, I'm still taking the prize home.
Thank you.
Right?
Oh,
I mean, it's not like...
it's like...
If you were to get turned down, would you be like... Really, like, you'd be like, well,
upset?
I mean,
no.
we both have like...
I'm trying to think if there'd be a situation where I'd be just like bummed.
Unless they were mean or something.
Oh, I guess that's true. But
we've never run into that.
Never run into that. I mean, we both have been declined, turned down. I mean, that happens. That happens for a million reasons.
So many reasons.
It could be they're not attracted to you. It could be they just don't want to play with anybody tonight. You don't know. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's so no big deal.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah, right. I mean, okay. Oh, you're not interested, but you over here. How you doing? And that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, and it's the end of the night, and you didn't hook up with anybody, okay, you. It's still amazing that you get to bring your spouse home and or play with them at the event or whatever it might be.
Because the energy in these events is so sexually charged and so wonderful that it's like, you know, I mean, there are many times that we go to the club and we're like, we don't want to play with anybody else. We don't plan on playing with anybody else, and we just go, you know, to the back, just the two of us, and we have a great time.
Yeah.
Or there are times that we go and we don't even play. We just go and then we go home.
And that's okay. Now, what about if it was you as a bisexual woman, you wanted to hit on another woman, and you think she's way out of your league?
Yeah. I feel almost kind of like you're just gonna have to get over that.
I mean, I'd say it's the same thing as if you, as a woman, or as the wife as a woman, wanted to hit on a guy, and she thinks he's out of her. I mean, just that's almost like regular dating stuff. Like, you know, it's one of those things. It's like you either, you know, what is the? I like to say it. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah.
Because it's totally true, especially in the lifestyle. Because you'd be surprised. I mean, it's one thing if you just go up to somebody and go, "Hi, I'm Matt. We should go have sex." That doesn't work very well because honestly,
sometimes it will.
And
don't count on that one.
And there have been times that myself and you, and group situations where we just like. I remember one time we met a couple, like you and I were literally going to the playroom to have sex with each other, and we just we're waiting there, and we started talking to another couple, and they're like, we should all go together, and we're like, cool. And I mean, it's like I hadn't even met those people. So I mean, those types of things do happen.
Where you're really like, it so doesn't matter that I don't know your name.
That's right.
I didn't ask.
That's right. I'm physically attracted to you. Perfect.
We never caught each other's names. You're done, like in the playroom, and you're like, oh, the afterglow and everything. You're like, we're gonna go get a cocktail. By the way, what was your name?
Not that I really care, but yeah.
I'm gonna remember.
I'm not gonna remember it. But thank you for this. Thank you for the last little while, because this was enjoyable. That's always fun too. But if you don't ask, but obviously, women and men are attracted to different things generally. Sure. I mean, you say all the time that you're more attracted to personality than looks. And so, if a guy just comes up, he could be the hottest guy in the world, and he just comes up to you and he's like, hey, Bianca, you want to have sex? You might turn him down. Yeah. No matter how hot he is, because you just, where did that even come from? Or if the guy's acts creepy or whatever.
I need to have a little bit of a connection there.
Which is funny because we were just saying that you didn't in that one situation where we're literally standing outside the door and we started playing with another couple. So, I mean, but in general, I mean, there's always going to be, there's always going to be different, specific situations or whatever.
Yeah. But mostly, like, I would say 99% of the time, I need to have a little bit of talking and a little bit of getting to know. Like, I'm not the person that, like, we've been to events where you were in, like, a big playroom and people just tried to join in, and you're totally usually okay with that, whereas I'm like...
I wouldn't say totally.
I don't want someone touching me or trying to play with me that I have not even had a conversation with. I don't even know who you are. Because we were in a situation like that before where there were 4 of us on, some mattresses, and you 2 over there and us 2 over here, and another couple were just like, hey, how's it going? What's going on? And... he was pushing her to just kind of like pet and do whatever over there, and he was trying to do whatever, and I just kept shimmying to the other side of the mattress, and the guy was following the guy that I was with was following me across the mattress, and then eventually I think someone had to tell him back off. I'm not okay with this, but it's that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I need to have a conversation. I can't just have somebody I don't know getting in there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how I feel intimidated as a guy. I think as a guy, I don't know if I ever feel intimidated by other men in these situations. I'm just trying to think if I do. I mean, I definitely will see a woman and I will be like, oh, she's out of my league. I mean, that definitely happens. That definitely happens. Yeah, and but will that stop me from talking? Probably. It might make me slower to approach or something like that. But if I can try the conversation, I mean, just like in the situations like we've been at numerous places where like at some point I'll go, hey Bianca, is there somebody in here that you see that you would like us to start a conversation with, because you can look at the guy and go, he is physically attractive from here. Let's go see if he's also mentally attractive.
Right. Yeah. I'm really bad at that game too, because I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, who do you see, Matt? I'm like, I see lots of people.
So
I see her and her and her and her and her and her. Let's talk to all of them. Being intimidated is a tricky one.
And it's totally normal. Like, everybody is intimidated by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but yeah, you just kind of have to get over it and just, like I said at the beginning of this whole part of our conversation, I think it definitely helps if you have the outfit that gives you the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is to you. Whatever that is. Even if it doesn't go with the theme for the party of the night. Who fucking cares? If you feel like the shit when you walk in, wear the fucking outfit.
Yeah. And that goes for guys too. I mean, we definitely have seen that over the last few years, that there's been a significant improvement at this club and at other clubs and on cruises and all the places that guys are actually putting some effort into it.
Oh, yeah.
Where historically they didn't particularly do that. Some guys did, or I mean, I'm a victim of that. I was just as bad early on, where it was like, I'll put a nice shirt on, because that's what guys generally do.
We live in an area where it's a little bit more, people are a little bit more.
Right. I wear jeans every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just you just do that here.
But it's like women spend so much time. Most of us, I'm sure there are some that don't like to primp and prep and stuff, but we spend so much time getting ready. Why shouldn't the guy spend time or really dress up and wear the tie and I think it's nice. I think it's it's appropriate. We've been to clubs like when we were in France where they wouldn't even let you in if you didn't have the right shoes on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, and then I don't know that I totally agree with that. Where I mean, they were really like looking you up and down to make sure. Like, they turned away some really nice looking couples.
Yeah, young couples that are very rare.
Because they didn't have the right shoes on. And part of me is like, good for them. At least they're sticking with what they say. They're not like, oh, you can just come in because you're just hot and young.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's like, I think it's, I mean, I'm killing myself in heels all night. You can wear some shoes and a tie.
Well, but back to what we were originally talking about, I think even as a guy, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If I dress to the nines and I look in the mirror and I'm like, fuck, I'm hot. And then she's drooling over here, which doesn't happen when she looks at me very often. No, that sounds wrong. Just, you see me in a shirt and jeans. It's, that's not doing much for, I mean, I might be attracted, but the outfit isn't. The outfit is just a normal outfit. But then you see me dressing up.
You dress up the same way you see when you act when I dress up.
And that in turn gives me this kind of like, I'm looking good tonight.
Yeah.
Some woman might be attracted to me tonight.
And also, just a little like extra note for guys that might be taking some notes here. Textures. Like, we had someone, I can't remember who it was, and maybe it was just someone I just met that night. I think I just walked up to this person, was like, oh, your jacket. It was like velvet. And I was like, oh, I love this jacket because it's velvet. And he told me, he was like, yeah, we went out and bought this, like, because you said texture.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That's so funny.
Can I bet you some more?
Well, because that happens with my, I have that mermaid jacket with that, that makes the up and down, you change the color or whatever. People come up to me and they're like, can I touch you?
And they just want to pet you.
And I'm like, okay, you can touch me.
We bought you a tie that was velvet, and so you can play with the velvet tie. Like, textures are... I keep trying to get him to buy, like, velvet pants.
Velvet pants?
Yes, because people will be like, ooh, let me touch your pants.
Well, now I kind of want... Okay.
Right?
Is that a thing? Can you buy velvet pants?
Yes, you can. I tried.
Oh.
It was at Macy's.
Oh. Okay.
were a couple of years ago. They had the whole velvet suit.
And that would look good too?
Yeah.
Apparently so. Oh, wow. Okay, well, you'll see me in that when the club opens up again.
Right.
Okay, I will absolutely get a velvet suit. If some of you people promise to touch me. Okay.
But, it's funny because I've even, worn textured outfits that have, beaded or not sequins, but, rhinestones on them. And I'm even like, ooh, feel me. I'll walk up to someone and they'll be like, oh, I love your outfit. And I'll be like, you should feel it. Because it feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, textures are awesome because we all love touch, right? We all love to touch each other, touch
And
ourselves or whatever. And so, yeah, textures that's a good little extra note there for you.
Well, I gotta remember that. I gotta watch some of these videos sometimes because that's actually a really good idea, and I don't think I do that enough.
Yeah.
Because we do talk about a lot, when it comes to dress, about doing something that makes you stand out. Oh no, not makes you stand out. Makes someone want to start a conversation with you.
Yeah.
For example, this necklace that she's wearing. It's like if we were at a Christmas party. I mean, obviously the outfit's sexy and all that kind of stuff, but someone could literally walk up to you and go,
"It's usually the shoes." For me.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just using this as an example. That someone could come up to you and go, "That's an amazing necklace. Where did you get it?"
Yeah.
For example, and suddenly you have a conversation started.
Yeah.
If there's a something that can be touched because it feels good to the fingers, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good. I like that.
I have a couple good ideas.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, this is. Okay. Because I like to be touched. So perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard that about you. I read that somewhere.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know if we talk about it too much, but there are different love languages.
Right.
And that's a book that we read a few years ago. Someone had handed to me, and I read it, and then I handed it to you, and I'm like, this is good stuff, and it works really well in the lifestyle too. Even though that's more of a dating thing.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be. I mean, people use it in their job and customers at work and all those types of things. That if you can actually figure out someone's love language, that you can actually connect better with them. Touch is very, very important to me. And so is words of affirmation, which is basically complimenting me. Two things that just there's been a handful of women that have come up to me, and at one point they would just I have a crush on you or something like that. And I just start drooling. Yeah. And it's like, that works. It works for me because that it happens to be my love language, where you don't particularly take compliments very well. No. So,
I don't know how to take them.
People compliment you all the time on these things, and you're like, thank you. You like that. I mean, everybody likes compliments, but you just don't know how to respond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
mine is gifts, by the way, so feel free to shower me. Kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. That's why I bought you those shoes, because I figured I'd get some action out of it. Thank you.
And you did, didn't you?
I did. Yes. It was worth every penny.
I know how to thank you.
Yeah. So we're getting closer to the club opening, and we're getting excited that it's going to be a little while still, but hopefully things will start to move forward, and we can start to connect with other people again. And I mean, we connect online, and if you're a member of Club Sapphire, clubsapphire.net, they have these weekly events that happen. Wednesday nights they have a live connection on Zoom, where people are just chatting and talking and meeting other people, and if they connect that way, that they can do these as sexy as you can be on Zoom type connections, and
which apparently is pretty steamy and sexy.
Oh well, I'm just saying. I mean, Zoom doesn't care. So maybe they do. I don't know. But people are doing that, and they're doing it. It's good for the early or the new lifestyle people, where it's like, okay, we connect, we talk with this other couple. Hey, let's have same room sex, even though we're technically not in the same room, where we're actually looking at each other's live porn, and that is a way to step forward in lifestyle and kind of go, hey, that was awesome, and then at some point you might have connected so well with that couple that you actually want to meet them in real life later on when you can, and then things are even better, hopefully. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're getting closer to
Check
that.
out the calendar because they've got all sorts of stuff going on.
And they also have like a men's group that meets and a women's group that meets. So you can, other guys, like for example, I don't have guy friends. I'm just one of those people that just doesn't have guy friends. And so it's nice to be able to connect with other guys and talk about just stuff, whether it's sex or football or whatever, but and not be judged and be okay with the fact that you're talking about potentially sex with other people. And we had this orgy this one time, and I felt really upset one time because she did something. And how would you guys deal with that?
It's just nice to get advice and ideas from other people.
Yeah, same with the women's group. So that's something that they're doing all the time, and you can check that out if you're on Club Sapphire's website or their Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. But
I also heard they have like pole dancing classes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, you're teaching those.
I do. I teach private classes right now.
Yeah. Because right now it's pretty much 101. So that's that. But that'll open up again, and you'll start doing some more sexy things again. So.
Yep. More classes.
Yeah. So, but we do definitely appreciate everybody kind of coming on and checking this out.
If you haven't liked us, liked Sapphire, do that. Subscribe, all that stuff.
That's good. Yeah, click the little like button right now so that it tells other people that you like what's going on, and then subscribe to the channel. And I don't think we're going to do another one of these before Christmas.
Yeah.
So because
it's getting to the busy time of year, right?
Yeah, and so we'll be doing these again after the first of the year as we get a little bit closer and try to figure out when the club will be opening. And do that. So all right. Well, is there anything else you want to say? No? Okay. And next time I promise that I'll get the technology working.
I feel like you say that every time.
I'm so...
He was so excited.
I was so
He's
excited
like, we're not going to have any trouble this time.
Because I'm using the good software.
But do you know even what you did? Like to fix
Will
it?
I remember it? Well, I'm going to write it down after we're done here so that hopefully next time it works.
Hopefully next time. Like, write it somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Wendy.
Oh, yeah, it is a pretty dress. Yeah. So, okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you after the new year.
Bye.
All right, bye. Yes, I'll hit the first.